ball games. And that's a heck of a good start here for the springtime of Mitch Haniger in his second stint back. Hey now, 1-0 Mariners. And along with that swing, I'd like about a fleet of trucks with packing nothing but good luck. So Mitch Haniger can stay healthy and be a major contributor to the ball club.
Take a look at this swing. First at bat of the spring. Gets a pitch 88 miles an hour right in the middle of the plate, and that is barreled up. He drives it out into the bullpen.
Great to have you back. What did it mean to homer in the first AB back here in your spring home ballpark?
It's good. It's a good start. So I'll just focus on some lousy singles the rest of spring, like Brownie says. But yeah, it's always a good start, good feeling.
Hey, Mitch, first of all, congratulations. Welcome back to the ball club.
Thank you.
And how's your overall health right now?
Good, feeling good. Yeah, good off season. Excited to be back here in Mariners uniform, obviously. Seattle's been such a great home for me and my family, and it's good to be back.
Hey, Mitch, a veteran player like yourself, you're coming to spring training. What's it like those first few games, first few ABs that you get in spring training?
Honestly, just trying to get your timing and just trying to, even in spring, you're pretty excited, you're ramped up, so just trying to take it nice and easy and just try to make solid contact and keep working every day in the cages and with Brownie and JD and yeah, just taking it slow, taking it one by one, and for me, it's just get the body right and continue to build up a volume with that. I think as you age as a player, spring training is a little bit more so just getting ready for opening day and making sure your body's in a good place.
I was telling Dave that I always found that at the start of spring training, it didn't take too long to time up the fastball, but to recognize the breaking ball off-speed pitches took a little bit longer.
Yeah, it definitely can. I think for me, I've had great springs, I've had terrible springs, and so what I've learned is like, it doesn't really matter. Just trust the process and trust the work you put in. And nobody remembers your spring training at the end of the season. So that goes for all the younger players. That it's important to try to get off on a good foot and to impress some people, especially if you're trying to make the team. But I think at the end of the day, it's just being ready to go day one up in Seattle, and that's the real focus here. Win a World Series and have a great season.
I say this respectfully. You're an elder statesman in that role. How do you perform in that role with some young guys? You got a good, bulk of veterans here, but you got some young guys. What kind of messages do you give to them?
For me, I'm always about preparation and being a professional first, and I think that's really important. I think I had some really good guys to look up to early in my career, and they taught me that. So I think it's just kind of learning the ropes and what it takes, and that's the really cool thing about coming back to the Mariners. I feel like we built a really good culture here all throughout the organization, and it's about working and improving and getting better, and that's always been the focus from day one. And Scott did a great job relaying that every year in spring, but you can really feel it in our clubhouse, and guys don't just talk about it, they do about it, so it's great.
Were you feeling for the guys last year when they fell a game short of making the playoffs?
Yeah, being there a couple years ago, it's a terrible feeling, and definitely I was watching a lot of Mariners games early on last season, and definitely missing playing in Seattle, so I had to kind of pull back and stop watching. I still check box scores, but early in the year I tried to watch a lot of games, and I kind of had to stop because it was making me sad. So it's good to be back.
I know it's early, Mitch. But what do you think of the ball club? Some of the changes that happened, obviously bringing yourself back, but there's a lot of new faces in there too.
Yeah, it's great. I think we have a really good balance. You definitely want a younger athletic team, but you also want some guys around that can help the younger players. Like I was saying earlier, it helped me grow to the person I am, the player I am today, is having guys to learn from. So I think in today's game, that's becoming less valuable, but these guys that are out there on the free agent market, not getting deals, their impact just goes beyond their WAR, and they can really help a younger player thrive and turn into a superstar, or help a guy who's struggling turn into an everyday big leaguer. So I think it's really important to have a good mix, and for me, just trying to share my knowledge with guys and help lead, and I felt more and more being called to do that, getting traded back here, and I'm really excited for the role, and I know I'm going to have to continue to learn, but that's a responsibility I want, and I'm going to love giving back. It's been a good feeling.
Tell you what, I will speak for anybody who's a Mariner fan and a baseball fan. We're damn glad to see you back here, son.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, hey man, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
It's 6-2 Rangers, your home straight bank score. Mitch Haniger stands in. Here's the pitch to him. Swung on, crushed, left center field. It is hammered, going to the berm, on the grass and gone. Mitch Haniger wasting no time, rides out a solo home run for Mitch. It's now 6-3 Texas.
Here's the 2 pitch to Charlie Blackmon. Fastball, top of the zone, called strike 3 by Jim Wolf. 1 down. 3-2 here to Chris Bryant. Here's pitch. Swung on and missed. Like a slider got him. There's 2 down. So nice bounce back by Wu. It's back into the game here in the second inning. Gets strikeout looking, strikeout swinging. 2 down. The 0-2 pitch from Wu. Fastball painted that outside corner, got him looking. Rogers is gone, so are the Rockies. On the mound making his second spring start is Bryant Wu. And we look forward to seeing him today. See, again, like we did last week, Rick Grizz, see how he works on his secondary pitches.
Lined up and the 2-2 and a swing and a miss. 5-0 for strike 3. Brian Wu was strikeout number 1. He's retired the first 4 hitters he's faced.
And that would play at Angel Stadium in just about any stadium, as Wu with the strikeout on the breaking pitch right there. Who comes ready? And the pitch. Yeah, got him. Another fastball, hitting in spots, and getting another lefty. This lineup, 7 lefties or splits, which is the perfect test. This is what Wu needs right now.
Good fastball right on the inside corner. He got Soto looking. So 3 strikeouts for Brian Wu. And heck of a second outing here in the Cactus League. That's going to be it from Brian.
Now Myers a drive back into left field. That ball's going to get out of here. Home run, clearing the bullpen and beyond. That ball carried right on out of here. A home run for Nick Myers. So how about that? You get a catcher, Driscoll, who makes that catch, utilizing the netting behind the plate, and then another catcher in camp hits one out.
Drew Thorpe's 91 to 95 mile an hour fastball hasn't wowed much in college or pro ball and would be a borderline below average pitch if he didn't spot it so well. His high strikeout numbers are driven by a stellar changeup, a low 80s offering that he sells exceptionally well before it hits the brakes and fades just before the hitter's back. He can get batters to chase the change in pitchers' counts, but they can just as easily be fooled in the zone. Thorpe's 82 to 85 mile an hour slider has good depth too, giving him an above average breaking option, and the whole package helped him lead minor leaguers, minimum 100 innings pitched, with an 18.6% swinging strike rate. The former Mustang also showed the makings of an upper 80s cutter and low 80s curveball during his first taste of the pros. Ideally, there'd be a tick or two more of velocity here, but Thorpe's pitchability makes him at least a back-end starter in the big leagues. He could ride the changeup alone to San Diego, and given the Padres' affinity to push their prospects, he might not need many more minor league looks to earn his chance at Petco Park.
Split 8s. That one sweeps in here. On the inside corner again. Swing and a miss. I mean, he just ate up crude on that pitch.
Hello everybody, I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and I'm joined with Bryce Warrecker, who is not only just a draft pick for the Yankees, but he's also a dodgeball champion and 2-time Channel League MVP in basketball at Santa Barbara High School. He was a Cape Cod League All-Star Game starter, also named the Cape Cod Pitcher of the Year by Baseball America. He was the Yankees' 20th round pick in the 2023 MLB draft, and the first guest in Fireside Yankees history to throw a slider with 26 inches horizontal break. Bryce, thank you for coming on, and tell me how you're doing today, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Doing well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And, there's obviously a lot to get into here. And, the big thing that I think stood out when I was kind of digging into your profile a little bit was I found a quote, and you kind of have this reputation of being an incredibly hard worker, not just on the field, but also in the classroom. Your basketball coach at Santa Barbara was quoted saying, while some guys have worked as hard as him, nobody outworked him. When your best players are hardest worker, it makes everything a little easier. What drives you to outwork those around you and keep up such a high intensity in terms of, your drive and your focus? And how did you develop that kind of work ethic?
Yeah, so I would say, so coming from a basketball coach, I played more basketball than baseball from 5th grade through high school, honestly. So basketball, for me, I loved it, and I was always able to go get in the gym and put up shots for hours, and this is something I loved, and so it really wasn't anything too difficult for me in high school to go and, I guess, outwork guys in that area of it. And then I think it translates to baseball because I had success in basketball with working hard, and so I understand that the consistency aspect of baseball is really important as a pitcher, and the day-to-day, sometimes you're not going to want to go in and get your lift in, but just staying consistent with it and understanding that by the end of your journey, it's all going to add up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, you're 6'8" for those who are not aware. So it's really, I wasn't really shocked to see that you played basketball in high school. You averaged a double-double your senior year. I think you averaged 22 points per game. And, I just had a question. How many points do you think you could score in an NBA game today?
Those guys are different. I think I'd have a tough time playing above the rim and getting rebounds with a lot of those guys. So maybe I can score a couple layups, but I'm also going to need a sub probably every couple minutes. I'm not in that basketball shape anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, and right now we're pretty banged up. So, I mean, if you want to step in or anything like that, we'll certainly take you. I mean, we could use the size. Like, seriously, we're, injured to death, man. It's bad. But, focusing back on baseball here, the Yankees are not afraid to tinker with pitchers and kind of their repertoire, whether it's guys they signed in free agency or guys who recently drafted, such as yourself. Have you undergone any changes with your repertoire since joining the organization? And can you walk us through your pitch mix and kind of your movement profiles?
Yeah. So coming in after the draft, came into Tampa and came in with what I have now. I think what they've done a really good job of in developing me is just taking what I have and making it better. There hasn't been any drastic changes or a new pitch added. I've thrown I throw a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam fastball, sweeper, and a changeup. And I came in doing that, and we've just taken that, tinkered with grips, and have improved each pitch, and then looking at what fastball shapes and off-speed shapes I'm going to want for my personal repertoire. But yeah, so the fastball is going to be around low 90s right now. Maybe a little cut to it, and then the 2-seam is going to be around the same velo, low 90s with run, and then the sweeper will be low 80s, and then change up low 80s, mid 80s as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the cut on your fastball because StatCast kind of, I think it kind of classified some of your fastballs as cutters. It was a very brief outing on your show, only a 5-pitch outing, but it's interesting because you don't see a lot of guys with 4-seamers that get cut. It's kind of a unique pitch. And speaking of unique pitches, your sweeper, that pitch, it went viral. Pitching Ninja posts it. It's a 26-inch, just an absolute demon slider. Did you stumble upon that video on Twitter? Did you have somebody send it to you? Take us through that process of you find out the guy on Twitter for a day.
Yeah. In the morning, sometime around 9 a.m., I think Spencer Medic, one of my pitching coaches I've had for this offseason with the Yankees, he texted me the video of that on Twitter, and so he was the first one to send that to me. That was pretty cool. Some people put together a couple clips and edits of me when I was playing out in the Cape Cod League, and my thought was, wow, that'd be sweet if these could go on to Pitching Ninja, something like that, but it's now about a year and a half later, got it. But yeah, so that was cool. It's a lot of people reaching out, showing their support and love, so it's been fun.
Yeah, not many people can say 5 pitches into their professional career, not even in the regular season, spring training, that they're already on Pitching Ninjas. So that's pretty cool, man. That sweeper, 26 inches. I'm pretty sure nobody threw a sweeper with that many inches of movement, or at least maybe some position player had some misclassification. I don't know. But it's a nasty sweeper, man. And, I was kind of curious because in the Cape Cod League, at Cal Poly, especially in your last year, you were a starting pitcher. So, are you being built up to start, or are you being built up more to come out of the bullpen, at least for this year?
Yeah, so for this year right now, I'm getting built up as a starter, and then we'll move on from there, however that goes.
Yeah, do you have an idea of where you'll be starting? Is it going to be single A, high A, or complex league? Have they talked to you about that yet?
No, not sure where we're gonna be placed yet. I believe we don't find out till the last day of spring training, and then again, we'll just move on from there once we find out.
Gotcha. And, speaking of Cal Poly a little bit here, you were teammates with Drew Thorpe in college for a little bit. He was a top prospect in the Yankee organization. He ended up being traded for Juan Soto. Did you get to pick his brain at all about maybe any adjustments he had to make his first year at the professional level, or at least just being in the Yankee organization?
Yeah, so, we've become close, spending 2 years in college together, and then this whole offseason we were back at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, so we spent a lot of time together there, and it's been cool talking to him about the whole trade thing and how that went down. But yeah, I think we're also similar in that we aren't going to overpower guys with velocity. So there is that similar trait there that's so different from most of the game now, honestly, with so many guys throwing 98, 99, 100. And I think another big thing between the two of us is he's going out there knowing that he's not going to overpower you with velocity, but his stuff's better and he's confident in that. And I think we're both just confident when we get on the mound. So that would be probably our biggest similarity and something we can for sure talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And, confidence is such a big part of, I feel like, just competing on the mound, and it's something that, I find so fascinating about pitching in general. You don't know what your stuff is going to feel like until the day you're throwing. Your change might feel good in a bullpen session, but then you get to the mound and it's game time and you don't have a feel for it. And you've got to figure out, kind of navigate through that. This first season of professional baseball, it's obviously a different animal, a different beast. So it's a longer season, stuff of that nature. Do you have any specific goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think the goal for right now is just to stay healthy through spring training, get prepared for the year. It'll be it's my first time right now throwing on a 5-day schedule as opposed to a 7-day in college, so that's a little bit new. We're getting used to that and how we handle the weight room. So staying healthy is going to be a big one for the whole season. And then in terms of me individually as a pitcher, velocity has just always been the thing where that's my overarching goal. I would say if I can learn how to throw harder, increase my velocity, then it's going to, give me a better chance of, hopefully cracking the big leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I didn't have this on the little sheet I prepared, but I wanted to throw one last question at you. You mentioned you were in Tampa kind of over the winter, if I'm not mistaken, or at least after being drafted, and obviously now in Tampa again for spring training. Is there anybody who has stood out that you've been with so far that is the funniest teammate you've been with? Maybe it's a guy that you've just met in spring training, or a guy in instructs. Like who's the funniest guy you've met so far?
I've been spending a lot of time with guys next to me in the locker room right now. Bailey Dees and Jack Neely are two of my guys right now, so they're making me laugh, and we're bouncing off of each other. And they're two older guys too, so it's cool to talk to them, hear what they have to say about baseball, and then messing around off the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as I mentioned, they've been in the organization for a few years, so I imagine just getting to pick their brain on just routine and kind of the ups and downs, or the day in, day out of professional baseball, minor league baseball. The big thing with baseball is just the grind of the season. But before we let you go, I wanted to just give you an opportunity. Where can we find you, Bryce? Is there anything you want to shout out or put out there before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is bwarker, and then my Twitter is just my last name, @Warker. So those are my two socials. You can find me there. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're very excited to track your progress this season. We wish you the best of luck this year.
Second start of the spring for Spencer Howard, 27-year-old right-hander. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rockies do have a handful of their regulars in the lineup today. Rogers included in that group. 1-2 is strike 3 call. Perfect pitch right over the inside corner. Freezes Rogers. chance to be the next star of the Rockies. Here is strike 3 called right in there. Howard, little reach back velocity at 95 miles per hour. In that game tomorrow. 1-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. It was dropped by Bailey, a high cutter. That's the first out of the inning. Waiting on an 0-2 pitch. Howard throws, Bryant swings and gets under it. A high, soaring fly ball. And Conforto makes the two-handed catch, battling a bit of that wind. And Howard once again escapes. A hit and a walk. That's 5 runners left on.